They are the insiders, Bob McKenzie, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger. Guys, with the trade deadline rapidly approaching, the Ottawa Senators have to know what's going on with Matt Duchene and Mark Stone. Bob, what's the latest?
Well, Gino, technically there is no news, and this is not one of those situations, I think, where you can say no news is good news. Just no news is no news, and the longer it drags on, you don't know. What we do get the sense of is that Pat Brisson, the agent for Matt Duchene, and General Manager Pierre Dorion of the Ottawa Senators are going to talk again in the next day or two, and that the dialogue will continue over the next number of days or week as far as the representatives for Mark Stone. I don't get the sense that they're making huge progress here necessarily, but that pessimism that I have about maybe both of these guys staying in Ottawa is more anecdotal than empirical. But let's assume for a moment that that Duchene and Stone go to market. Talking to a number of general managers around the league, they're saying it's virtually unprecedented that if Stone, Duchene, and Artemi Panarin, who obviously is available for the right price, if they're all out there, that's an unprecedented rental crop of elite offensive players. And what might that mean? Well, when you factor in that there's Wayne Simmons out there, and there's Michael Furlan, and there's Derek Brassard, and any other number of forwards that are available in the rental market or in trade, it might be a buyer's market, and that the prices that teams expect to get for these guys could very well be suppressed. So let's keep an eye on that overall market with so many guys flooding the market potentially.
Well, and you can count Kevin Cheveldayoff from the Winnipeg Jets among the teams that are eager to learn what is going to happen with Mark Stone or Matt Duchene with the Ottawa Senators. No secret that Cheveldayoff and the Jets are in the market for a forward. It could be a bottom six guy, but it might be a hometown home run like Mark Stone, a Winnipeg native, that they design if he is available. Likewise for Matt Duchene, who would help him up the middle of the ice. Again, a word of caution. Of course, Cheveldayoff will be involved in the discussions if either one of those key players is available, but he's kicking tires on a lot of players, top six guys and bottom six.
And Bob mentioned Panarin at the top. I mean, he will be a major headliner. The Jackets only found out, of course, a few days ago that he would not entertain negotiating an extension. But within those couple of days, I'm told several contenders already have reached out to Columbus to find out what's going on, what the price might be, and get that conversation going. There'd be so much interest in this player. One team that's not a contender is the Florida Panthers, but I do think that GM Dale Talon down there in Florida has interest not only in Panarin come July 1st, but his Jackets teammate goalie Sergei Bobrovsky. Yes, you need to clear cap room to get that done if he's able to nail them both, but there is interest. They haven't got a lot of saves this year in Florida, so keep an eye on that, and especially ahead of February 25th, even though he can get him for free come July 1st, maybe keeps an eye on what Columbus wants to do.
Another team that's not a contender, the Chicago Blackhawks. They're battling for last overall. Could we see some veteran talent become available?
Well, I find it hard to believe that Duncan Keith would switch teams, but I will tell you this, that the Hawks will go to him right before the trade deadline and say, what do you want to do? He has a full no-trade clause, 4 more years on his deal at $5.5 million. He decides his future. He's a legacy player, yes, for Chicago, but I think Stan Bowman and the hierarchy in Chicago will go at him and say, what do you want to do? Do you want to go a contender or stay here with the rebuild? That conversation will happen.
Darren, you mentioned a couple of times that Mitch Marner's camp has already made it real clear they do not want to negotiate an extension for Marner until the end of the season. Could that pose a real problem for the Leafs?
Yeah, an offer sheet problem, and we've speculated on that, specific to Marner and Austin Matthews. Now, as we've reported, obviously Austin Matthews is getting closer to a contract extension, and Darren Ferris, who represents Mitch Marner, has made it publicly known that they have no intention of negotiating with the Toronto Maple Leafs until the end of the year. Look, teams around the National Hockey League are hoping that Ferris is a man of his word, and there is no negotiation until the end of the season or July 1st. And I can tell you with certainty that teams are 100% preparing an offer sheet for Mitch Marner. We'll see if it gets to that point, and as we know, the Leafs have made it abundantly clear that if it does, they'll match.
Can't help but to think at that point, the gloves would officially be coming off. They are the insiders, Bob McKenzie, Darren Dreger, and Pierre LeBrun.